Hello and welcome to this week's episode of diverCity.
I'm Vincent Manincourt.
And I'm Faye Rajpal.
Today's top stories are student union election campaigns,
a plus-size fashion show,
and domestic workers are being abused from the UK.
Now for our first story. The latest trendy London cafe is under threat of eviction after a dispute over the use of its building.
Our reporter Eugenie Lambert has more on this.
If you haven't tried the latest hipster spot, you better hurry up before it's too late. Located in the heart of Shoreditch, Zieferblat has put into place a new concept brought all the way from Russia. People can stay as long as they want for 3 pence a minute.
And then I'll let you write your name and then the time now.
This pay-per-minute cafe is a mix between a communal space and a social club. Here, you can make your own tea, have a piece of cake, and even play board games.
Every time I come here, you end up talking to lovely people in the kitchen, and it kind of breaks down the social contract a bit more than like a standard coffee shop.
Although Ziferblat has been really successful since it last opened in November, it may be facing closure in less than 28 days. In fact, this new hipster spot has just been issued an eviction notice by landlords because of the disputed use of the building.
Landlord thought that we were a cafe because that's how it's been described. Fair enough, but it's not really a cafe. So at the moment we are in conversation with the council and trying to explain what is this place and how wonderful it is.
The problem with Ziferblat is that their lease only allows them to be either an office or a shared workspace. In fact, they fall by definition in the legal grey area between a shared workspace and a restaurant. Despite the upcoming legal fight, they remain optimistic and are already thinking about relocating if they were to be evicted.
Homelessness is a serious problem in Hungary, and the government there has decided to combat it by making it illegal to sleep outside.
Protests erupted worldwide against this decision. Gianmaria Volpicelli has the details.
We are here in front of the Hungarian embassy in London, where protesters are joining an international effort to oppose the Hungarian government's plan to criminalize homelessness. A new law will make sleeping rough illegal. Last October, the Hungarian government passed a law aimed at clearing thousands of homeless people off the streets of Budapest and other towns in the country. The government says that the law's objective is to protect the homeless and to rehouse them in shelters where they would have proper assistance. However, critics say that under the new law, homeless could face community work, fines, or even imprisonment if they slept outside.
It's a criminal act because they want to protect the public health, the public order, and the cultural heritage of Hungary. I ask what kind of public health they want to solve by pushing people to have no chance to live.
Around 10,000 people live on the streets of Budapest, and there is an estimated shortage of 4,000 places in public shelters, according to the Hungarian NGO The City Belongs to Everyone.
And Hungary is getting really fascist, and they are looking for the inner enemy in this capitalist crisis. And the inner enemy are the poor.
People from every part of the world joined the demonstration, some of them also out of fear that a Hungarian model may be exported to Britain.
At the moment, there's 6 councils in London, including this borough we're in at the moment, Westminster, who have now made it a crime to be a rough sleeper. There already has been people who are facing criminal offences, ASBOs, where their only crime is that they're actually lying rough in the street.
This is Gianmaria Volpicelli.
And now our international correspondent Sofia Betica has the international news.
Let's start with Ukraine, where dozens of people have died in Kiev, the capital, during a fresh wave of anti-government protests on Tuesday. It is still unclear what sparked the clashes, but hundreds of people have been injured on both sides. The police used rubber bullets, stun grenades and mortar cannons. The unrest began last November when President Yanukovych rejected a deal with the EU in favor of closer ties with Russia. And in Italy too, the Prime Minister has seen better days. Enrico Letta resigned last week following a vote called by Matteo Renzi, the leader of the centre-left Democratic Party. Almost certainly Renzi will be sworn in a matter of days. At 39 years old, he will become Italy's youngest ever Prime Minister. His appeal lies in being the outsider. He's a former Boy Scout, a winner of the Wheel of Fortune, and a fan of leather jackets. He's often compared to Tony Blair. But will Matteo Renzi shake up the political system? He did, after all, promise he would wait for proper elections, and yet he already broke the promise as he is set to become Italy's third unelected prime minister in a row. Lastly, talks are being held in Vienna between Iran and 6 world powers. Their goal is to reach an agreement to limit Iran's controversial nuclear program. Having got to this point at all is progress. However, there is little optimism that the talks will succeed, as Iran says it wants to continue with its nuclear activities. So for now, mutual suspicion remains great. That's all from me today. Back to you guys.
Filipinos joined Londoners in a world record-breaking walk last Saturday.
The aim of the walk was to continue to raise funds for victims of Typhoon Haiyan. Marcelo Pellegrini reports.
The Philippine Christian sect Iglesia Ni Cristo called a global walk in 28 different countries to raise money for the cyclone survivors. With 175,000 participants gathered globally, the Guinness Book World Records confirmed this as the largest charity walk in an effort to raise funds for victims ever made. In London, Filipinos from all over the UK faced the rain, the strong wind and the cold temperatures to join the charity action.
Yes, that is very important to help the people who really have a big storm like that. It's very, very important.
We would like to participate in that, and in the manners of we would like to help people in the Philippines.
I always believe that the significance of this event will enhance every Filipino to unite and promote camaraderie among us.
Differently from the relief phase, which raised only in the UK £55 million, the funds for the reconstruction phase are very scarce. Because of that, many charities such as Christian Aid keep campaigning for funds to assure the tragedy will not be repeated.
And this is very much the case with the Philippines right now, that the shelter sector, in terms of the needs for reconstruction, is severely underfunded. And I think the UN appeal, the sort of global appeal, was only about a third funded last time we checked. So that's many millions in deficit from what's actually required.
The amount of money raised was not disclosed, but it's expected at least £590,000 raised only with the registration fee. 4 months after the catastrophe, hundreds of people are still homeless as a consequence of the strongest storm ever recorded at landfall, which left 8,000 deaths and 4 million people homeless along their path. Marcelo Pellegrini, reporting to City International.
The Student Union election campaign officially began on Monday.
But how many students actually know about these elections and who is running for which position? We sent our reporter Laura Geller to find out.
The Student Union election campaign 2014 officially kicked off on Monday. That means candidates are now allowed to promote their campaign and compete for the students' votes. Ballots are casted for full-time positions, including student union president, 2 vice presidents, and a number of part-time positions. The student union presidents and vice presidents earn a salary of over £22,000 a year. Last year, about 15% of city students voted in the YesU elections. A record turnout, however, to most students, choosing their representative is not a priority.
I don't think it's important. I consider I am more focused on my studies than the student union.
I don't even know how I can vote, so I think not. I mean, we haven't heard much about it. That hasn't been promoted, their aims, what they want to do.
The student union takes care of managing student space such as Settlers Bar, promotes campus projects, and works with the school to ensure that the university policies are student-friendly.
During his term, the current Student Union President, Giulio Foligno, has worked to make the union and its services more visible to its students. He's pleased to see that the candidates have put up posters and started to actively campaign. However, he recognizes there's still work to be done.
It's difficult because a lot of students, especially here at City, just kind of want to come to City, do their course and go home and not necessarily integrate as much into student life. We have about 40% of all undergraduate students, in fact, live at home. So for some of those students, they may not integrate as much into university life, therefore they may not feel part of it, therefore they may not vote in the election.
Foligno said that unlike his predecessors, he will not endorse any of the candidates. Voting will take place between the 24th and 27th of February. Students can vote online or cast their ballots in the university building during that time. This is Laura Götter, reporting for diverCity.
And now to entertainment with Sarat Shirai.
Hi, I'm Srakshi Rai, and this is the Entertainment Roundup for the week. The 67th BAFTA Awards took place on Sunday night, with 12 Years a Slave winning the Best Film Award. Oprah Winfrey had to be stitched into her BAFTA dress, literally. The media mogul shared a video on Instagram showing her fashion stylist putting the finishing stitches to her burgundy Stella McCartney dress. The Queen and Duchess Kate co-hosted a star-studded gala at Buckingham Palace the night after the BAFTAs. The Duchess recycled her red-pleated Alexander McQueen dress that she wore to the Queen's Diamond Jubilee party in 2012. The toast of British Fashion Week, Cara Delevingne, is reportedly dating Fast and Furious actress Michelle Rodriguez. The two have said to be going steady for a while. The Elle Style Awards took place on Tuesday night, with Tom Hiddleston winning the Elle Man of the Year Awards and Katy Perry winning the Elle Woman of the Year Awards. As usual, actress Emma Watson was among the best dressed of the night. Amy Winehouse's estate has shown a quadruple rise in earnings since the star's tragic passing in 2011. That's all from me on the entertainment side of things. Thank you for watching.
Victorian lace and flapper gowns, nothing is more British than a vintage show.
As models parade the catwalks of London Fashion Week, Janelle Rahma stepped back in time to see what was fashionable in days gone by.
Here, at the old Finsbury Town Hall, British fashion enthusiasts gathered to rifle through the rails on the hunt for the perfect vintage piece. The award-winning Clerkenwell Vintage Fashion Fair returned on the 16th of February for a special event just in time for London Fashion Week. Billed as the Selfridges of Vintage, the fair brought together 50 of the finest traders of vintage clothing and accessories, which spanned over 100 years of fashion. For a £4 entry fee, fashionistas were able to bag some bargains, as well as get style inspiration from the designs on show. Organiser Savitri Coleman aims to bring together some of the top vintage sellers and organise an event for fashion fans as well as industry insiders, such as stylists, models, celebrities and costume designers.
Vintage is a piece of fashion that is at least 25 years old, and it would normally really speak of its era. So from maybe the print to the style, the shape of the garment. Vintage is not something that is just second-hand that you would maybe find in your local charity shop that was maybe from the high street originally.
From the haute couture to the affordable, there is something for everyone, regardless of budget. The fair also catered to men, with a wide variety of menswear. As well as showcasing the best in vintage fashion, there is an additional bonus of services and entertainment, such as the Tea Room des Artistes, nail art, and on-the-spot alterations. Whether you're turn-of-the-century dapper or 1960s mod, you can find whatever you need at the Clerkenwell Vintage Fashion Fair, because true style never goes out of fashion. This is Janelle Rahma for diverCity.
The same day that London Fashion Week kicked off at Somerset House, another catwalk was lit up at Vinopolis Warehouse.
Gloria Schiavi went to a slightly more alternative fashion show.
The British plus-size fashion weekend took place in London's South Bank for the second year, gathering 16 fashion designers who presented their collections. The event, that aims at moving away from the super skinny role model, addresses average-sized women.
The plus-size industry in general is a movement. It's definitely a movement, especially in the UK. We are starting to understand that curves are beautiful. Women want to see people that they can identify with, whether that's a size 14, a size 16, a size 22. You can love yourself from the inside out, no matter what your size.
The organizers aim further than just expanding their market selling clothes.
We are always trying to educate a plus-size woman. It's not about being skinny or being fat. It's about just opening up mindsets and changing people's visions that they currently have. We want to make sure that everybody is embraced. Whether you're small, whether you're big, it doesn't really matter. We're here to celebrate curves, and that's what we're trying to do.
Over the past years, the worldwide movement has grown a lot.
I think that the US, they have New York Plus Size Fashion Week, and they also have Chicago. But I do believe that this event is probably one of the largest plus size fashion events that there ever has been.
Figures from the NHS show that a growing proportion of English population is overweight, both among adults and kids. We spoke with Joe Allott, who wrote a book that helps people coping with eating disorders.
It's not just skinny people who have an issue such as anorexia or bulimia, which I was predominantly bulimic. It would be nice to actually see somebody on a catwalk that was actually normal rather than either a plus-size model or a skinny model.
So after years of concern about skinny models, fashion may be starting to change. But replacing one role model with another, which also can lead to serious health problems, may be risky. diverCity, London.
Let's go over now to our two meteorologists, Laura Guerra and Simone Sarchi, for the weather.
Hello and welcome to Frankfurt. Unfortunately, there's much of a weather change coming here from London. Over the next week, we're expecting a high of 10 and a low of 1 every day. But the good news is that the sun might come out here and there. Germany might still be waiting for spring, but I'm not. I believe every day should be Dirndl Day. So let's get ready for the beer garden. Unfortunately, that's got me a big cold. But with my earmuffs, I'm all good. So tschüss and auf Wiedersehen.
Ciao, my name is Simone, and I'm in Rome. We had an amazing and hot start of the week. The days were sunny, with highs of 22. Is it the start of the good season? Well, not really. I'm afraid for the spring we need to wait a little more. Indeed, yesterday the temperature dropped to the usual average in winter. During the weekend, highs of only 15 and lows of 3 are expected. And well, don't forget the umbrella, it meant rain too.
Now to our sports correspondent, Stefano Pozzebon.
Good day and welcome back to diverCity. I'm Stefano Pozzebon and this is Rugby Tackle. The Six Nations is reaching its mayhem and the focus this Saturday will move to Twickenham where the English host the Irish in a fascinating fixture. The Greens are on a high and will try to secure the Triple Crown after thrashing Wales 2 weeks ago in Dublin. Brian O'Driscoll is once again the man to watch. On the contrary, the men in white are suffering the unlucky series of injuries and this week have to renounce the down call, the experienced Leicester prop being called off by a neck stretch. New hope can come from young fly half Georgie Ford. The rookie finally being added to Stuart Lancaster's side after another impressive performance for Bath over the weekend. In the other fixtures, Wales will look for revenge when hosting France in Cardiff on Friday night, while the Azzurris are welcoming Scotland to Rome for an afternoon of Italian vendetta. Not an easy trip for the Islanders, after being muted at home 2 weeks ago by England. But the Olympics Winter Games in Sochi are catalyzing everyone's eyes, and our hot player of the week cannot come from anywhere but the Russian city. American David Wise has become the first Olympic champion in a freestyle skiing men's halfpipe after securing his gold medal on Tuesday night with a score of 92 out of 100 in his very first run. Well played, lad. This was our last news for today. Good evening and good rugby to you all.
Thanks for watching diverCity. I'm Vincent Manencourt.
And I'm Faye Rajpar.
Don't forget to follow us on all social media outlets.
That's all we've got time for, but join us next week.
Goodbye.
You know